everybody. Glad to have you here today. We are going to talk some Tijuana, which is going to be awesome. So parents, students, leaders, I'm so glad to have you. If you want to go back and rewatch any of this, or if you want to show someone else, or someone else is interested, this will be posted. We are filming this, and we'll post it on YouTube for your convenience. And also say hello to the very first ever live online audience. So hi people. Don't know how many people are watching right now. I think there's a few, but thanks for tuning in over there. And so we just want to get as much information to as many people as possible. So we're getting all. I'd just love to introduce. My name is Josh. I'm the Senior High Director of Ministry here at SPC, and I'm really excited about today. Today we launched Tijuana, which is really exciting. Next to me is Alex Maxim. He is the Executive Director of DOXA, who is the organization that we partner with. When we go down to Tijuana, they kind of help us out and get us all connected, and we do a lot of logistical stuff for us, which is great. Ali Matheny is our mission student leader. She leads the charge on all things senior high mission, and she came on Tijuana last year and is going to be talking a little bit about her experience. And next to Ali is Ali's dad, Dwight. And Dwight was just a parent last year who was, like many of you, not sure what they wanted to do about sending their kids to Tijuana. And Dwight's going to tell you a little bit about that. And then all the way on the end, you know her, you love her, Becky Barrett. She's pastor, and she'll be talking as well. So I just want to give you like a 1-minute synopsis of my experience. And we'll all follow through with their experiences as well. But I went to Tijuana last year not really knowing what to expect, not really knowing how God was going to use this trip in my life, in the life of our students and our leaders. It was crazy trying to plan for this, and I had a lot of logistical stuff on my plate. But as we were going through the planning, it seemed like one thing after another just seemed to fall in place and to click. And every obstacle we came into, as we started working with it and praying over it, was just either dissolved, or we found another way around. And it just, step by step, came together to be this amazing trip. In fact, last year, we went down expecting to be on 3 separate housing sites around the outskirts of Tijuana, and we actually, the whole of the senior high was together on one site, building 3 different houses. So we were able to just have the infinite knowledge of Aleco when it comes to house building at our disposal, which we couldn't have done without, especially in our first year. And it was just a total blessing from God to be able to, for that to have happened. So one thing after another just seemed to click, and it wound up being a life-changing trip for me and for a lot of our students, I'm sure for some of our leaders who I see are back for round 2 this year, which is really great. And yeah, so I usually talk too much, so I'll just shut up, and Alex, go for it.
Thanks, Josh. And I want to say with Josh, he did an amazing job of just kind of going through all the steps. I remember that when we first met, he was kind of vacillating between another organization and our organization. And luckily you guys chose us, and I'm really, really happy you did. So I've been with the organization. It used to be called Homes Without Boundaries. We've worked with different churches in the neighborhood and across the country. And I've been going on these trips for about 16 years now. I was thinking about it. 1996 was my first trip, and I've been to a lot of them. Then I joined the board of Homes Without Boundaries. Then about 5 years ago, we changed to DOXA, D-O-X-A, which is praising God. It comes from the ancient Greek, and worshiping God and serving God through our hands, through our work, and through the transformation that we can provide the students like you and the leaders also that go. And I think I was talking to a couple of you how important this trip is, not only for the kids, but also for the adults. It's really, hopefully, will be transformational for all of you that participate in it. Let's see, what can I say about DOXA? DOXA has been around since officially since 97, and we built over 1,700 houses, housed about 8,500 Mexican nationals. We only work in Tijuana. We don't do any of the other countries. It's just because of the simplicity of just crossing the border, and yet finding those hard conditions of a developing nation just across the border. So that's a wonderful opportunity that we have. With a little bit of travel, we can get to suffer a little bit with them. It It's just hard enough, just far enough, just difficult enough, and yet tangible enough that we can live in that environment and feel a little bit what's going on in the rest of the world. Also, we've had about 12,000 students like you and leaders volunteer on these trips. So it's a time-tested program. I'm available for any questions at all, and I'll be glad to talk about them. So pass it on to Ali.
When I signed up for this trip, I really had no idea what to expect. Like, I knew we'd be going to Mexico and building houses, and like, I remember as the week went on, I started to see God's presence like so much more than I ever would have expected in the trip, and like everywhere, even like in the hard times and in the great times, like He was just everywhere that we went. And I remember how at the beginning of the week we were all so focused on getting these houses built, and then as the week went on, it was still important, but it started to matter less, and what mattered more were the relationships with our team and with our leaders and with those kids and those families down there. And coming back from the trip, I realized just how much it totally changed my perspective and changed my life, like 100%. Like, that's not even an understatement. Now, coming back from that trip, I know what I want to do for the rest of my life. I know that I know that there's people down there that are struggling, and I know that I want to help them so bad, and that it just changed my life.
So again, my name's Dwight, and I think the reason Josh asked me to be on this panel is because last year I was the poster dad, I guess, for nervous parents to send their kids on this mission trip. I had a lot of reservations, just a lot of concerns about why Tijuana, and and just being nervous about having my daughter go down there. But at the same time, I know just what an impact missions had on my life when I was younger, and really wanting Allie and all of our kids to be able to experience that. And we've raised our kids here in an area of such affluence that I think it's just an incredible experience, and something that's really necessary for our kids to get a little bit wider worldview than the plateau and the east side. So I mean, some of the things just to help alleviate my fear. I mean, I think obviously the biggest part of it is just trusting in God to take care of our kids. But some of the things that really helped me was knowing the experience of Doxa, having gone down to this location for so many years, was one. Another one was really realizing that this is it's not the Tijuana experience that I had years ago. I mean, they really don't go.
Elaborate on that?
I mean, they never even go into downtown Tijuana. They bypass it entirely in the vans and go directly to the site where they stay and where they build the houses. I also felt just a lot more comfortable knowing, as I know in past the mission trips, because I've been on the mission committee at church, the trips usually take one day of fun for the kids, and for me, knowing that day of fun was north of the border on the beach and not south of the border, gave me some comfort. So just trusting in God and trusting in the leaders, and knowing that they've thought through a lot of the risks and are really doing everything they can to eliminate those risks. And for me last year, just the desire to have Allie have that experience kind of outweighed those fears, and indeed seeing some of the changes in her as she came back definitely made it worth it for me.
So I had this really amazing personal experience on this mission trip, because I first went to Hogar de los Niños in Tijuana when I was a college student at Whitworth with First Pres Spokane. So I was a student leader with kids, and or college leader with our kids. And so going back now 17 years later, and I've been throughout this whole time interspersed, but seeing the transformation of the community there from Doxa's long-term investment was, to me, what mission is about for us, that we are investing in another place to change their lives, because that's what Jesus does for us. So to be able to see that, my own personal faith, and now to see, our students, some of which I have baptized and seen grown up, which I can't believe I'm that old, but I am, to see them contributing to that now and being a part of that was really, for me personally, transformational. But I think really, as I think about why we do this trip, why we do mission as the youth staff and I talk about this, as we talk about it on staff at church, it's really for our discipleship that we step out and do these things. It is, we go to serve because God tells us to serve, but we know that it's really our lives that need to be transformed. And there's something about this experience of taking ourselves out of our daily existence and putting ourselves in another context with people who are just living their lives like us that absolutely changes the fabric of who we are as human beings. And that's, I think, what Jesus is doing in our lives. That's what God wants to do every day. When we have those experiences and we bring them back, we know that will change our church. And it'll change the world. This is the way God designed it. So that's really, I think, for me, why we do this trip, why I think it's important to make sure that we're really investing in something that God is calling us to and that will be transformational for us and for our kids.
Awesome. And on the heels of that, talk a little bit about not only mission context, but why we actually chose Tijuana itself as opposed to anywhere else that we could have gone. We really feel led, as what Becky said, that there's just a different aspect to mission when we put ourselves in a different environment, a different culture, different worldviews, experiencing different lifestyles. It's so much more out of our comfort zone, which allows it to be that much more transformational for us, as opposed to just staying within our country's borders. And it's just amazing to see what happens when we step out in faith and trust that, yes, God's going to take care of us. God's will is going to be done at the end of the day, and all glory goes to Him. And when we step out of our comfort zones and just put ourselves in His hands, something amazing happens. And I wish I was able to do the same kind of thing. I wish I need you guys need to be more mature in my faith, but I wish I was able to do the same kind of thing here on my day-to-day and be able to push myself in the same ways that I'm able to push myself on this mission trip. It just forces you to force tons of different things, and Jesus works in crazy ways. So that's a lot of the reason why we chose Tijuana. Also, the home building, let's not overlook that at all. That has lasting impact. Like Becky said, these trips are way more about us and us being transformed because, for me personally, like my biggest problem is myself. Jesus came to save me from myself. And so we hope for that same transformation of Jesus Christ to happen in us as we serve others and because Jesus called us to serve. But the houses are so much of an important part of this, and there's a lasting impact that happens. The community is transformed. It's able to provide economic stability for these people to have this house and 4 walls, and it's pretty amazing. I just remember a quote from last year. I forget who said it, but these houses are 12 feet wide by 24 feet long with a partition in the middle, which makes each room 12 by 12. And looking at this thing, I'm thinking, man, this is, I'm glad we're doing this, but what a small house. And my perspective was instantly altered when one of the families that we were serving, the father came up and said, thank you for building us this palace. And that would just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, it is all about perspective, and all gifts are good gifts from God. And this guy had the right attitude towards that. But with going to Tijuana, we know there's lots of safety questions, lots of things that need to be addressed. So we know you have kind of hesitations around that. So Aleko is our expert with Tijuana safety. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the climate there, maybe a little history, what it's like now. There's been a couple of emails that I've gotten about the state's Department of Homeland Security's travel warnings. Talk, if you could speak to that, and at the end we'll have lots of time for questions. So go for it.
Okay, I guess there's many different issues. One thing, I think all of you are aware of mission trips, and there is no we cannot guarantee safety on any mission trip. And I think that goes for a mission trip in the U.S. or overseas. So with that in mind, what we do is we try to minimize the risk, the problems, you know, events that could happen. So we take a lot of precautions. So a lot of it is about planning ahead of time, thinking about what's going on over there, what's going on in Tijuana. And the way we do that is, number one, we have a director down in Mexico, Rosa, who's constantly monitoring and telling us what's going on. We also have an attorney in our Mexican board of DOCSA that informs us. We also have, through contacts in San Diego police, we find out what the border patrol is doing, and they do quarterly, actually they do monthly reports, but we usually get them quarterly, reports of what's going on, what things are brewing, if anything's brewing. So they're constantly on the lookout. They know what's going on as best as anybody else knows. So we get those reports, and if at any time we feel there's a risk, and we've always said this to our groups, is the day before we go down, if we feel there's a strong risk not to go down, we cancel the trip immediately. So we don't want to risk your children or yourselves as adults and leaders. So, you know, we talked a little bit about some of the precautions that we take. We travel together as a group, we fly down as a group, we cross the border in a caravan, tight caravan. We stay together, we never travel less than 1 or 2 vehicles at a time. And in those vehicles, we want to have 2 or 3 people in each vehicle at minimum. We don't allow the kids to go out. In the good old days, we used to just go across the street and there was a little candy store and pop and stuff like that. We don't do that anymore. Once we go in, we close the gate, we lock it up, and we're inside our compound, if you want, or our campus. But the campus actually happens to be very nice. And if I may just, Josh, can you go the other end?
Oh, the other Josh.
Yeah. Okay.
Here you go, Josh.
So I don't know if you guys can see. So this is the view from our side, even when we're locked inside. This is a spectacular view of the housing that's on the other side. And later on, if you guys have time, you can see one of our houses is this little blue one. Unfortunately, there aren't any other ones here, but this blue one right here. And you can see some of the ones up there and some of the festivities that go on. So even though we're inside a compound, we can do a lot of different activities. And Josh talked about, you know, sort of Bible time. Small groups can get together, we sing, we praise, we dance in the main hall of the new orphanage, and we dine with the orphans that live there. Yep. Just put it down, so you're welcome to take a look at it. Let's see, when we get to the site, and yesterday I had this question, was do we build where we are living? We build in the same area, but it is usually about 15 to 20 minute drive to where we build the houses. Like I said, we go in caravans, and once we go there, we stay in one spot. And if anybody needs to use a bathroom that's next door, then we usually have 2 or 3 people go with that person. So we're always watching out for each other, looking out, observing. Let's see, what other kind of precautions do we take? There's a lot of them. We don't travel at night.
I was going to say too, the community's used to you.
The community's used to us. One of the things that we've experimented is we're excessively visible. We rent big white vans that are very obvious, and we usually ride about 6, 8, 10 of those vans, depending on the size of the group. So right away people know. So one of the things that we've adopted is we make some plastic laminated sheets, and we stick them on the back and the front of the vans, showing that we are serving Christ, that we are serving God. We have a little cross on it so that people know this is who we are. We're coming to build houses, and we've never had anybody confront us in any way. You know, they'll ask questions, they'll follow us, they want to talk to us, and that's great. We do that. But from that point of view, you know, we are very visible, and yet because we're so visible and they know what we're doing, there's safety in that, I think. Anyway.
I remember last year us driving out of the compound, and even like in, you know, kind of as we're getting further away, people saw the vans and they're just like waving and cheering us on and giving us a thumbs up. Like they know what we're doing. DOCSA has been there for such a long time. They have a presence and people know what DOCSA is up to, and so they just cheer us on, which is absolutely awesome.
The other aspect of security is medical, and we hope that you guys will have either some doctors or nurses or EMTs, you know, somebody that's prepared and professional. If not, that's fine. You know, most of us, all the leaders, I think, have to take a CPR, right? They have CPR class. So I definitely recommend you do that. We have to take this every 2 years. We have clinics nearby. The other thing I didn't mention is that where we're staying is, as you can see in the picture, is a very built-up area. It's a very urban environment. It's not like we're not out there in the bushes, you know, lost out there in the field. We have a lot of clinics nearby, a lot of large stores, warehouses, a huge Calimax, which is like a QFC, and nearby clinics, and about 5 to 10 minute drive away there's what they call an American hospital, a very large professional hospital, 24 hours a day for emergency. We have used it before and it's a great hospital. In the worst case, we can go to the border, which is about 15-minute drive from where we're at any point that we're going to be. We can take them to the border and then they can either be medevaced and there is an express lane for medical emergencies, getting back to the U.S. if we need to. And then we would have the kids go to Scripps or one of the San Diego, La Jolla hospitals over there. You see, so medical food, we bring our own food, so you know we're covered there. We don't drink the water; it's all potable. You know, the big 5-gallon bottles made by Coca-Cola, so it's all industrial quality, safe.
Not Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
If only. Thanks, Alex. And Alex is planning on going with us for this trip. He is so knowledgeable and knows about 1,000 times more than any one leader does, and so that's why we count it a huge blessing that he's able to go with us on this trip. So he'll be coming along with us. So I'd like to keep us rolling, and this trip it does cost a good amount to go. However, there are tons of fundraising opportunities for you available through SPC and on your own. So Allie went last year and she paid for the whole trip. And Allie, why don't you tell us a little bit about Allie and Kelly here, obviously. But tell us a little bit about your fundraising experience.
You're like, really?
I did a couple of them. I didn't do all of them. I think I did like 6 minutes.
6 available.
And I signed up for as many as I could, and they were like so easy. And I mean, they weren't like, it wasn't necessarily easy work, but it was just like, it was so easy to like have the opportunity to do that. And I did like a crazy variety of work. I did like, I painted and I did pulled weeds and I built sets for BBS, and some people babysat, and like there's all these like different things that they can have you do, like virtually anything. And I think you work for one and you get $100 towards your trip. And sometimes I did one where they give us more, and sometimes they just, I don't know, they feed you lunch, and it's a good opportunity, I guess. And other people, like I remember Nicole last year, she like baked cakes, right? And she got a lot of her trip paid for through that, and other people found like other ways to fundraise, and it was not difficult to fundraise enough to pay for a significant, if not all of your trip.
SPC does offer as well. The mission team does offer a third of the trip's cost covered because SPC counts it a huge value to be on mission and to be serving Christ in that way. The preliminary number is about 1,100. That can go up or down after we book airline tickets, which I can't do until January or February 10th when the applications are in. So could go up or down, but there's a bunch of different costs. So we don't want to set a price and then say, oh, just kidding, it's actually more than that. So we just, that's what we're targeting. We're going to try to, of course, go underneath that, but it may not happen. So work days are an awesome way to do that. That's officially sponsored by SPC. A third of the mission trip cost gets covered by SPC's mission department. You pay $150 up front, so that takes some of the money off right away. And also you can do your own fundraiser. A lot of kids last year, I think Allie Connectala, who's not here, but Vicky and Brett are, she sent out just fundraising letters to her family and friends and said, hey, I'm going on this mission trip. Here's what we're going to do. I'd love for you to be praying for me and be able to, if you consider supporting financially. And she raised most of her trip costs just through that, which is absolutely awesome.
So is Kyle.
And Kyle. Oh, Kyle. Yeah. So, tons of different ways. In addition, if there's just no way to make it work, SBC offers scholarships for students. So we can make this work. If money's an issue, we don't want money to be an issue. We do everything we can to help you get on this trip. But it does take a little bit of an effort to do that. So, Anybody else have anything to say about fundraising? Cool. What's next? So I would just love to let's quickly move through just a kind of a daily schedule. Here's what we do, the big things on an average day. So we're up bright and early, 7 a.m. The sun's already been out for a couple hours. Like, you know, it's already getting warm. Wake up, have breakfast. Last year the food was made by a wonderful, amazing team of Mary Jo, who's going this year, and Missy Vanderwaal. They were the best cooks ever. And we have great breakfast, morning devo, and some program time to kind of get our hearts in the right place to understand why we're doing this instead of just here's what we're going to go do today. We'll head up to the build site. There's a snack somewhere in there. Then there's lunch, and there's another snack, and an afternoon snack. Like Mary Jo hooked us up with the food last year. Around 5, give or take an hour, we head back to the orphanage, have some free time, and bucket showers. They sound horrible. They're actually awesome. Was there anybody that went to the Tijuana trip last year that did not enjoy bucket showers? There you go. It sounds horrible. It's actually awesome. At the end of the day, when you're so dirty and tired, you're just kind of like, oh my God. So free time and showers. There's another, after like 6 snacks, a lunch and a breakfast, there's dinner, which is always great. And then we go into our evening program, hangout time, like we talk the lesson for the day, again, the why behind the what, and then we do some small groups. We have small group leaders going down to shepherd our students and make sure we're growing spiritually the whole time. And then lights out, we say 10:30, usually winds up being a little later than that. Some people are just like, at 9, so that's subject to change. I mean, this is just, here's an overview of what's gonna look like each and every day. And then, so, if you go to the next slide, Isaac, we are shooting for 20 leaders. We want to build 5 houses this year. We built 3 last year, we want to go for 5. That is a really lofty goal, but I really like to push myself and our leaders and like to set goals that we can't attain unless God helps us attain. And if Lord willing, we want to build 5 houses, and so we're shooting for between 15 and 25 leaders. We're going to call it right in the middle at 20. We need 20 adult volunteers. We have about 10 or 11 signed up. I got a couple more today. If you're a parent or a college student or a member of SPC, we would love for you to fill out a leadership application. It's right here. Come talk to me after. It's got the first 6 pages are all just information about the different roles. We need people to cook. We need people to. We're having a communications team go down this year to update our blog and take pictures and videos. And we need people to supply our sites to go back and forth and keep the site stocked. We need people to help coordinate on the site. We need people who want to be in charge of a site and the whole building process. We need small group leaders. We need lots of different kinds of people. So if you're feeling like, hey, I at least want some more information, come up and grab one of these. If you want to get signed up, just turn it in as soon as possible. I can't officially count you signed up for this trip as a leader or a student until I have an application. Even if you've told me otherwise, hey, I'm definitely in. I need to have one of these before it's solidified so that we can be fair. So if you're interested, come talk to me. I'd be happy to give you more information. Again, the first 6 pages are info in the back for our application. We want to have 45 kids. That is our goal. We'll see if we get there, but we're leaving it in God's hands. We may have 15 kids for all I know, but we'll see. And then lastly, just a few important dates. Isaac, if you would go ahead. Sunday, February 10th is the firm application deadline. We are booking airline tickets on Monday, February 11th, bright and early, in order to try to get the best rate possible. So I'm sorry if I don't have your application in by Sunday, February 10th. You can still turn it in, but we'll have to put you on a wait list. And if someone drops out, then you can take their spot. That is the firm application deadline. Leaders, if you want to get signed up, your last day to apply to be a leader is Sunday, January 6th. So that's coming up in less than a month. Saturdays in May and June are work days for students. They are not required, they are optional, but each work day you make at least $100 towards your trip. So I would, if you're going on this trip, clear those Saturdays now, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sometimes, I think a couple people last year got off at like 11. They were like 9 to 11 or 9 to 12 and still made $100. So that's pretty awesome. Other people moved rocks all day. Win some, you lose some. But you do get a free lunch, that's cool. So Saturdays in May and June, so it's every Saturday in May and the first 2 Saturdays in June. If you're a parent or a leader, if you want some spring cleaning, painting, babysitting, whatever, consider hiring 2 SPC students to come out to your house for work days. The last Monday of each month, February through May, and 2 Mondays in June, are mission team trainings. We're doing things a little bit differently than we have in the past. Mission team training is we all get together. It's very, very, very relational. We hang out, we get to know each other, we build team unity and bonding. Students, if you're thinking about coming on this trip, we ask that you make it to at least 4 out of 6 of these. 3 out of 6 is the absolute minimum. If you can't make 3 out of 6, then we should reconsider your participation on this mission trip. It is a big commitment. But it's totally worthwhile. And these mission team trainings are so valuable. In addition to mission team training, there's 2 optional things this year. One is going to be a mission team lock-in. We're going to have an overnight here at SPC with the mission team beforehand. It's going to be completely goofy, tons of fun. We're going to have a good dodgeball tournament and do crazy stuff. So that's part of our training. And as well, we have a mission day planned as part of our training to go serve out in Seattle. It's going to be really great. And then, of course, the last week of June, June 22nd through June 30th, is the 2013 Senior High Mission Trip. We may go June 23rd to 30th, or we may go June 22nd to 29, but block out those dates. The actual days are going to depend on airline ticket prices, whatever we can get the best deal for. If it's June 22nd through 30th, awesome. And that was just one more day down there. So I think that's it. There are more important dates in the leader applications for leaders and in your student application, which are the big colorful ones that are on the seat. The entire full schedule is on there. It's up to date. And if you have any questions about that, please let me know. I'm always available by phone and email. Just shoot me your questions or come talk to me today. I'll be here after to talk to you. But what I want to do now is open up the floor for questions, whether it's questions for any of us or questions for some of the students who went last year or a leader who went last year. If we can't answer your question now, Liz has been documenting over there for a while. She is writing down important things. She's going to write down the questions and their answers. If we can't answer your question, Liz will write it down. We will find someone who can answer that question for you. But hopefully we can handle them all. So I would just love to open the floor for whatever, and I know no one likes to be the first one, but someone's got to be the first one. So who's it going to be?
I'll be the first one.
Yes, please.
In the previous mission trip for senior high, there was an additional fundraising opportunity of selling ice cream pies. Is there going to be some sort of sales kind of opportunity then?
There will not be one this year.
And I can answer that. We've really steered away from doing a lot of those because the feedback we've gotten is that the cost benefit isn't as high as doing things like work days or having students send letters or doing your own like bake cakes kind of stuff. The portion of money we get didn't really offset. People weren't always happy with the pies. They got a lot of complaints. So we kind of steered more away from that. Okay.
Question?
Yeah.
Not really a question, but I was wondering if you could tell us more about the fun day that they had for last year. How did that turn out?
The fun day last year actually, well, the fun day included a lot of building because we got behind on our house building schedule and had to use our Saturday, which is our last day there, to go finish the houses. Which is why an extra day has been built in this year, anticipating that we don't know what we're doing and we're going to have to use that to build. So last year, the time that we did have for our fun day, we went to, what was the beach called?
Playas, which is beaches in Spanish. Playas, which is the main beach next to the border.
Okay. Is it Coronado? Is that where it was?
Oh, then we went to Coronado, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was
States good.
Beautiful beach. We got across the border. By the time we got across, it was like 4 in the afternoon. We
In-N-Out
went-
burger, we had In-N-Out.
We had In-N-Out, and we went to the beach, and we hung out, and people danced in the water and went swimming, and it was tons of fun. And then we went back to La Jolla, which I know, which was coined La Jolla last year. So because I don't know how to pronounce Spanish words, so we went to La Jolla Presbyterian Church, and we hung out there. Our flight was at 4 o'clock in the morning, or we had to leave for the airport at 4 in the morning. So most kids just stayed up all night and played like capture the flag.
It wasn't that fun, actually. No, it wasn't.
This year, we're planning on getting out. We're planning on having a full day this year for fun, and so we don't know what it's going to look like. We know there's going to be some beach involved. We know there's going to be some sunshine involved. We know there's going to be some La Jolla involved, but we don't really know exactly what it's going to look like.
We try to book ourselves at the YMCA for showers, so we go book it, take a shower, and then go do fun. So.
Yeah.
So you fly in and out of California?
San Diego. Yeah.
So the return across the border is usually cumbersome. Is there no cool high school Mission Express line or anything like that?
We've been lobbying for that. It's averaging right now about an hour and a half to cross, but it moves. It's slow. They have made a lot of progress with the new crossing. They've remodeled. In fact, they're in the middle of remodeling it all. They're going to add like 30 more booths, and they're double booths now. So 2 cars go at a time. So it can be as fast as 40 minutes sometimes. But it varies.
Barely time to get a churro.
The other thing is, talking about security and border, we don't allow the kids out of the statue. Vendors can come to the van, and do come to the van, but we don't allow you to shop at the van.
Yeah, Tracy.
Josh, when the kids write letters to get donations, is there like a tax deductible statement on there that they can use that people know that their donation is tax deductible?
I would like to answer that. When Ali and I were writing ours, we didn't have like professional statement or anything. We just said that you can this is like tax deductible, and then I think there was something from the church that we put on there as well. Some code or something like that, I don't remember. But we did say that it was tax deductible.
So does the money go through the church and then back to the kids? That's what I'm
Yeah,
wondering about.
all the donations that come in are supposed to come through my desk and then through our finance, and then we disperse it to their accounts through that.
It's all made to SPC. It's tax deductible, and you use our tax ID number. We can provide a statement to anyone if they want it.
Okay.
Some corporations match
Yes, that's true.
the donations you get.
Oh, even for mission?
Depends on their relations.
Yeah. Yeah, it is worth that.
And Alex,
This back page, the supply list, do you have a guesstimate of quantities needed on some of this stuff?
depends on how many houses we're gonna wind up doing, and we can't know that until we start getting bids signed up. We're shooting for 5 houses, so we need enough. I know there's no actual numbers like how much I think we actually need of each. But we're hoping that a lot of the donations for that come through the families who are sending their kids.
Yeah.
And as we get people signed up, we can keep the families in the loop of what we're still doing. We
Is
have
this,
a lot planned.
do you guys take everything, or is there anything available?
We take everything. We have giant coolers. They're about the width
The big
of this
Costco
row,
ones.
Yeah.
We could put people.
and they are heavy
They're
and
huge. We fill them with tools and check.
Which is why the border crossing is slow.
It is. It's why they at the border they're taking off all the duct tape that we got put on all of them.
But we do have a lot from last year left over that we're going to use. If anybody, actually, I do know, we need some really good saws. So if anybody's got knows where to get really high, if you want to donate one thing, a high quality saw from Home Depot would be hand saw.
And the reason we take our stuff back and forth is that there's not storage. There's not a lot of storage there for people who are doing their stuff. And some of the tools and stuff we leave with the families. That's huge for them, for us to leave some of our tools with them. So
like those saws that go.
Yeah,
You know?
Yep,
Wooden
this,
handle.
the kind that goes.
Yeah.
You need really good saws.
Everything else, you know, the quality is
Not a
anywhere in the middle is not a big deal. So we need the best sauce you can buy.
It's worth it.
Are there more questions about anything? Yeah, Nicole.
Are students going to be updating the blog again this year?
There will be student updated blogs this year for sure. Those are my favorite things about last year. Aaron.
Is there going to be any time where we're going to go back and see the families from last year?
I can't guarantee it, but I think as far as we're planning, yeah.
We would hope. Yeah. Hope to do it.
No more questions? Okay, well, what I would love to do before we all split is about 12:50, so I have a couple minutes. If you're a leader or want to be a leader, come talk to me. I have these. Any more questions? Find someone with one of these little guys on, and we'd be happy to answer you. There's we just put last year after we came back, we interviewed some students and asked them if there was someone next year who's on the fence about going to Tijuana or not, what would you say to them? And we just kind of put together a video of their responses. So take a look, and then we'll pray.
If you're worried about not knowing anyone, you'll automatically get to be a community by the end of the week. Like, that is definitely not a concern, and everyone wants you to come, and it's a really incredible experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything, and I think
Yes,
you'll be
agreed.
there. So,
Best week ever!
so please come.
I'll
Don't
regret
regret
it.
it.
All of you.
I'd say if you're on the fence, that already means that I feel like God is pushing you towards this. If you feel like it's something you want to do, then that's already kind of an indicator that, like maybe God's pushing you in that direction.
There was not one time on the entire trip that I was like worried or like I didn't feel safe at all. Like I felt really safe the whole time, and it was a really good experience with God and with everyone that we met and with people in the group.
I'd encourage people to challenge themselves. If there's some reason why they think this trip will be hard for them, that's a good thing.
It was an experience like nothing I've ever experienced, and I'm so excited that I get to go and do it next year because it was the best week of my life.
So if you're on the fence, I would just say that think about there are reasons, there are excuses why you wouldn't want to go to this. Make sure you clarify in your own mind if you're thinking of a reason or an excuse.
Just gotta try it. You won't regret it once you do it.
Any reason that somebody would not want to go on a trip like this, like any reason they think it'll be difficult for them or that they won't enjoy it as much, to me that's just a reason to do something like this. Like, this kind of trip is all about challenging yourself and doing things that you didn't know that you could do and just pushing yourself.
If you feel like it's unsafe, I felt safer, surprisingly, I was really surprised with this, I felt safer down in Tijuana than I have when I'm walking around Seattle.
You can do it!
Yes.
You better.
You, all of you.
You can do it.
Who are saying that right now?
If you're afraid of feeling unsafe, just
Do it. Okay. It's you! You have to do it. Okay, God is calling you right now through me.